The South China Sea, a vital waterway for global trade and a tinderbox of geopolitical tensions, witnessed another incident involving the United States and China. Chinese military aircraft, suspected of conducting surveillance operations, were intercepted by U.S. fighter jets in the contested airspace. This encounter highlights the ongoing strategic rivalry between the two superpowers and raises concerns about potential escalation in the region. The incident serves as a stark reminder of the volatile situation in the South China Sea, where territorial disputes, military exercises, and freedom of navigation operations intersect to create a complex and potentially explosive environment. The U.S. asserts its commitment to upholding international law and ensuring free and open access to the vital waterway, while China maintains its expansive territorial claims and seeks to assert its dominance in the region. The interception of the Chinese aircraft is the latest in a series of encounters between the two militaries, underscoring the fragility of peace and the importance of managing tensions to prevent miscalculation and conflict. The South China Sea is not just a body of water, it is a vital artery of global trade and a focal point of geopolitical competition. Its strategic importance is multifaceted, encompassing economic, military, and political dimensions. The sea is a crucial shipping route connecting East Asia with Europe and the Middle East. Trillions of dollars worth of goods, including energy supplies, manufactured products, and raw materials, transit its waters annually. The South China Sea is also rich in natural resources, including oil, natural gas, and fisheries, making it a valuable economic prize for the surrounding countries. Moreover, the sea is home to strategically important shipping lanes and choke points such as the Strait of Malacca, through which a significant portion of global maritime trade passes. The control of these sea lanes has profound implications for global trade and energy security, making the South China Sea a region of paramount importance for major powers and regional actors alike. In a tense encounter over the disputed waters of the South China Sea, U.S. fighter jets intercepted Chinese military aircraft that were operating in close proximity to American forces. The Chinese aircraft, believed to be conducting surveillance operations, were met by U.S. F-35s, which are among the most advanced fighter jets in the world. The U.S. pilots responded swiftly and professionally, adhering to international protocols to avoid escalation, while sending a clear message about American resolve in the region. The Chinese jets, after being intercepted, altered their course and increased their distance from the U.S. forces. The encounter remained professional, with no reports of aggressive maneuvers or unsafe interactions. However, the incident underscores the heightened tensions and the potential for miscalculation in the contested airspace. The U.S. military regularly conducts freedom of navigation operations in the South China Sea to challenge China's expansive territorial claims and assert the right to operate in international waters. The South China Sea has long been a source of tension and conflict in Asia. For centuries, China has claimed sovereignty over most of the sea, based on historical maps and records. However, these claims overlap with those of other Southeast Asian nations, including Vietnam, the Philippines, Malaysia, and Brunei, which also assert sovereignty over parts of the sea and the islands within it. The discovery of oil and gas reserves in the region in the 20th century further intensified the disputes, as did China's growing economic and military might. In recent years, China has taken increasingly assertive actions to assert its claims in the South China Sea, including building artificial islands, deploying military assets, and conducting maritime exercises. These actions have raised concerns among the other claimants and the international community, particularly the United States, which has a significant interest in maintaining freedom of navigation and regional stability. Section 5. Dragon vs. Eagle. The interception of Chinese jets by the U.S. military is just one manifestation of the broader geopolitical rivalry between the two superpowers. China's rise as a global power has challenged the United States' long-standing dominance in the Asia-Pacific region, leading to increased competition and tension. The South China Sea has become a focal point of this rivalry, as China seeks to assert its control over the region and the United States seeks to maintain its presence and influence. The competition between the two countries extends beyond the military realm, encompassing trade, technology, diplomacy, and ideology. The US and China are engaged in a trade war, with tariffs imposed on each other's goods. They are also competing for technological supremacy, particularly in areas like artificial intelligence, 5G, and quantum computing. Diplomatically, the two countries are at odds over issues such as Taiwan, human rights, and North Korea. Ideologically, the US promotes democracy and a rules-based international order, while China advocates for a more authoritarian model and a greater role for itself in global governance. Section 6. Implications for global security. The ongoing tensions in the South China Sea have significant implications for global security. The region is a vital artery of global trade, and any disruption to shipping lanes due to conflict or instability would have far-reaching economic consequences. Moreover, the South China Sea is a potential flashpoint for a wider conflict between major powers. The presence of powerful militaries operating in close proximity increases the risk of miscalculation or accidents that could escalate into a larger confrontation. The international community has a vested interest in preventing conflict in the South China Sea and promoting a peaceful resolution to the disputes. Diplomacy, dialogue, and adherence to international law are crucial for managing tensions and finding a sustainable solution that respects the interests of all parties involved. Section 7. The regional power balance. The South China Sea dispute is not just a bilateral issue between China and the United States, but also involves a complex web of regional actors with their own interests and concerns. Countries like Vietnam, the Philippines, Malaysia, and Brunei have overlapping territorial claims with China and are wary of its growing assertiveness in the region. These Southeast Asian nations are seeking to protect their sovereignty, secure their maritime resources, and maintain peace and stability in their backyard. They are pursuing a mix of diplomacy, military modernization, and strategic partnerships to counterbalance China's influence and safeguard their interests. The Association of Southeast Asian Nations, or ASEAN, plays a crucial role in promoting dialogue and cooperation among its members, including on the South China Sea issue. Section 8. International Law and Freedom of Navigation. The South China Sea dispute raises important questions about international law, particularly the United Nations Convention on the Law of the Sea known as UNCLOS. UNCLOS provides a framework for governing the world's oceans, including territorial waters, exclusive economic zones, and freedom of navigation. China is a signatory to UNCLOS, but has interpreted its provisions in a way that supports its expansive territorial claims in the South China Sea. The United States and other countries argue that China's actions violate UNCLOS and undermine the rules-based international order. The Permanent Court of Arbitration in The Hague ruled against China's claims in the South China Sea in 2016, but China has rejected the ruling. The US and its allies conduct freedom of navigation operations in the South China Sea to challenge China's claims and uphold international law. Section 9. The future of US-China relations in the region. The South China Sea is likely to remain a source of tension and competition between the United States and China for the foreseeable future. The two superpowers have fundamentally different visions for the region, with China seeking to establish itself as the dominant power and the US aiming to maintain its presence and influence. Managing this rivalry peacefully and preventing it from escalating into conflict will require careful diplomacy, clear communication, and a willingness to find common ground on issues of mutual interest. The US and China need to establish mechanisms for crisis communication and conflict resolution to avoid miscalculation and unintended escalation. They should also explore areas of cooperation, such as combating piracy, protecting the marine environment, and promoting sustainable economic development in the region. The future of the South China Sea will depend on the choices that the US, China, and other regional actors make in the years to come.